Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and I'm just trying to be me in a world that isn't and make mediocre matter one good setup at a time. Starting with the season primer today, a soft, playful, semi-forgiving, easy riding, fun to butter, fun to ollie, fun to turn board. Doesn't have the best float and powder, a little on the technical side for a beginner, but a great board for an intermediate to expert to experience park riding as well as mountain freestyle riding and even work on getting a few good turns. I rode this with my Nitro Team TLS boots, Battalion Acid Boa boots, and Union Force bindings. I got this in a wide variety of conditions, everything from a little bit of powder to some firm but fair snow and some decent groomers. And just so you know, this is an honest, objective review for you, the consumer, and I can do that thanks to Lauer Board Shop. They've been selling to snowboarders longer than a lot of resorts have been allowing snowboarders. They're a family-owned business that have made a push recently to have a much larger online presence. They will compete with the big stores in terms of price matching, shipping, and customer service. So if you want to support honest, objective content and support snowboarding in general, buy through our links to Lauer Board Shop and give them your hard-earned cash. It's greatly appreciated. So when it comes to sizing, this 58 felt just right for me. This is the kind of width I like, and it was easy to turn in all conditions. I always felt in control. I really wouldn't want to size down unless I was going to the park, and I don't really think I want to size up for this kind of board because this really is a mountain freestyle ride, and you don't want to go too long with rides like that. So let's talk shape. This is a directional twin. It has a very centered feel. The nose is a little longer than the tail, and there is a setback on side cut of 0.5 of an inch or 12.5 millimeters. And the setback on board is very similar, but if you want to set it all the way back to these inserts right here, you're looking at 1.25 inches. So not much back on board. Looking at this camber profile, it is mostly camber with a little bit of early rise. Let's talk about the side cut radius. They say it's 8.1 meters, but you can see it has an easier entry in the nose and tail, and then has a little tighter radius towards the waist. You have a pretty fast, easy gliding base that has good wax absorption, and it's definitely upper tier, especially for this price point. Let's talk season primer flex. Pretty medium between the feet here. Down in the tail, it's a little bit stiffer, and the nose is about the same flex. And overall, it has a pretty continuous flex and good pop to it. So let's talk about how the shape, camber profile, side cut, and flex all work together to give you this on snow feel. This is a very stable board in all conditions. One footing flat basing off a chair, going down long flat cat tracks, and it has a very consistent feel in all conditions. It's not the easiest board to skid a turn, but this softer flex along with this little bit of early rise makes it okay for committed intermediates on up to advanced expert riders. And this is a pretty decent all-day ride. And while it can handle hard uneven snow and soft uneven snow pretty well for this kind of flex, it never feels too bucky or bouncy, even though it's a pretty poppy, dynamic ride. And the grip here is pretty good, but not exceptional. It starts to let go a little bit in hard to icy snow, and you have to dial back your turns. If you size this correctly, this is going to initiate a turn really quick, edge to edge. And what really surprised me is how well this board carved for how soft it is, torsionally and tip to tail. I really had fun turning this board, and I could weight my turns any way I please, front foot weighted, center foot weighted, and back foot weighted, but that's the luxury of having a directional twin. You can make all kinds of turns with this. It never feels hooky. It feels very balanced. Everything from a circle carve to an across the groomer carve can be done very easily with this board. If you want to make longer, high speed, drawn out turns This side cut isn't going to fight you, especially with this easier entry in the nose and tail, but it isn't the kind of board you really want to point it with and go fast. You're going to get some chatter, and there are a lot of boards that are better for that, but it's pretty good for what it is. And the way this snaps on an ollie, it just made me feel like a better rider than I am. And it's a great board for tracking into side hits. I love the combination of the quick turn initiation and the ability to track well and go straight without the board feeling weird or squirrely. So it allowed me to hit side hits easier than I could with other wider boards. And I really like that. This has a lot of landing gear in the tail too. It's a very fun board to get air with around the mountain, but you could also go into the park and launch off some pretty decent sized kickers. Not huge, but definitely medium large, more than my insurance policy will qualify for. And I love the way this buttered and rode switch. It's very doable switch. It's almost like a true twin. Very fun to treat the mountain like a park. If you want to go into the jib park, it'll work okay, but there are better boards for that. But this isn't a bad pipe board either, so not bad there. Now, when it comes to powder, this isn't bad for what it is, but if you like setback directional, easy float, this is going to take some work. It's not as bad as if this were full camber, but you can do better if you like to set it back, and you can do better if you like more float when you're centered on board. So overall, the season primer was a pretty fun ride. I love this flex personality. I liked the turning experience, the way it buttered, the way it ollied. I think if you're looking for more of a mountain freestyle oriented ride and you want a decent amount of camber, a good base, and a fun board for a little bit of everything except for maybe powder, this could be a great fit. So there you have it.